Proverbs 3:3. Chesed ve'emet al ya'azvucha, koshrem al gargarotecha, kotvem al luach libecha. So here we begin with chesed ve'emet. So we get loving kindness and faithfulness. Loving kindness and faithfulness here. Now, some translations may go with mercy for chesed. This is a difficult word to define in English, but I think loving kindness is a good one. Steadfast love, something like that. Now, these two words are going to serve as the subject for the verb that we have here. But notice that we get the al negation. So let's look at this for a little bit. Notice we have here ya'azvucha. So look at this u. This is going to give us that third masculine plural idea along with the yod preformative. So you might see something like this phonetically: yod preformative, shurik sufformative. My boxes here would be any root letter, and this is going to be indicative of that imperfect third masculine plural. The verbal root that we have here is azav. Let me write that out. Azav is the verb. And then we have a 2ms pronominal suffix. So notice here we get the al negation. This is where we kind of started with this. The al negation is going to give us an indication of the jussive. So third person jussive would be something like, let them not abandon you or forsake you. Well, who is the them? Who is the subject of the third masculine plural? It is indeed here the chesed ve'emet. So let not loving kindness and faithfulness abandon you. Let not loving kindness and faithfulness abandon you. What we find is something like an implied imperative. In other words, the thing that would cause steadfast love and faithfulness to abandon the son is that he walks unfaithfully, that he walks in folly or something like that. And so here you might see some translations that would even make this a command. Do not let steadfast love and faithfulness abandon you, as a second person command or something like that. But notice we are dealing with a third person form. And so since we're studying the Hebrew text, that's what we'll go with. Next, we have the verbal root kashar, which means to bind, koshrem. So we have the call imperative 2ms, and then we have here a third masculine plural pronominal suffix. Now, this verb is used in Deuteronomy 6:8 to refer to binding these things. You shall bind the teachings of the Lord on your hand as a sign. And then they should be frontlets on your forehead, these sorts of things. This is in Deuteronomy 6:8, same word. And so you're seeing this kind of binding this law, binding steadfast love and faithfulness, binding wisdom onto your 2ms pronominal suffix, gargerotecha. Now this is your throat. Now I had to look this up. Some of you may know my undergraduate degree was microbiology and chemistry, so I did a lot of anatomy and physiology. And Halot actually calls this the pharynx. The pharynx. So I had to look this up, and this is basically the section of the throat that's from the nasal cavity down to the esophagus and airway. Now the larynx is going to be the voice box. So a lot of times you'll hear here the neck. You'll see an English translation that says bind them or tie them upon your neck, as if steadfast love and faithfulness are some sort of decoration. Here I think it probably has more to do with internalizing and seeking to keep these things close by way of wisdom. Next, we get another word that reminds us of Deuteronomy and Exodus, the writing of them, and then especially with this luach, the tablet. You were thinking Exodus tablets having been written on. So I think that the father here is taking his son back to all of these same types of ideas. So here we get the call imperative again, this time of katav. And so write them, there's our third masculine plural pronominal suffix again, write them upon the tablet of your heart. Now, with heart, notice we get the dagesh forte here. We have seen this before, and some of you may have seen this as the word for heart, levav. And that gemination, that doubled bait right there, is why we get this dagesh in this case. So sometimes you can see heart as lave, but then when you put that 2ms pronominal suffix on it, you're going to get that dagesh forte right there in the bait. So write them upon the tablet of your heart.